All right, so we've come in, we've done our input height, we've done our input weight. So everything that's left to do, there's one calculation, but there's no checks we have to make because they involve the height and the weight. We've already checked those. And then we're just going to display everything. So I'm going to take this, calculate BMI, I'm going to uncomment it. Notice I immediately get the message saying it doesn't exist. So I'm going to write that right now. I'm going to go down towards the bottom. All right, so right after the end of my is numeric, I'm going to write this. And it's just going to say calculate body mass index, BMI, using the associated form or the formula shown below. All right. And that's static void. It's not returning anything. And it was called calculate BMI. As soon as I put that in, all those errors that I had for it, they're now gone from the bottom of the screen. And again, it's one line. BMI equals, and I'll just put it in here and then we'll go over it. Oops, that's not spelled very well, is it? So I'll give you a second. That's the whole routine right there. Now that's the correct formula if you look up on the screen here. So I'm going to grab that line of code, copy it to the clipboard, go way up to the top where I put that up here because I had the wrong formula in there. So now I've got the right one in. Now if you look on the screen, I'm going to go right back down to it. If you look on the screen, do you notice, you may or may not be able to tell, but some of these parentheses are gray and some are black. The ones that are gray mean they mean that they're trying to tell me, hey, Jeff, you're doing overkill. Technically, it'll work without those parens. I like to leave no doubt. And that's why I've got it in like that. So now my call to calculate BMI is there, and it should work. So the next thing is calculate the BMI status. So I'm going to uncomment that one. I again get the message telling me, hey, you haven't written that yet. So I'm going to write that one right now. So right below the calculate BMI, I'm going to have my calculate BMI status. This is where those constants will come into play. Because I'm going to first say if BMI is less than min optimal. That's another way of saying if it's less than 18.5. And what we had from our specs, and it just says then that status equals, you can put it whatever you want, I'll just put it all in uppercase, underweight. So now I'm handling underweight, else if BMI is less than max over, meaning it's less than 25. So if it gets down to here, it's greater than or equal to 18, but it's less than 25. So what does that mean? It means their optimal weight. Was that BMI status? It's just status. I'm sorry. This is status. What did we call it? I got to check. I'm sorry. Did call it BMI status. Good. All right. The system was smarter than I am. All right, which isn't saying that much. So that should be BMI status. There, if it's less than 30, that's overweight. And then finally, else, you're obese. Now, if you look on the screen, because this is one of those, what do they call them, teaching moments type of things, you don't have to put these. I could do this, plus it'll make it easier for you to read. So I can do that, and it works just fine. You don't have to have this on another line. But by me putting this curly brace on the same line, it'll all be visible then, and you can read everything. It is kind of convention to put the ending curly brace on its own line. But again, what you are starting to do is to develop your own style of coding. All right, so I don't really care which way you do it. All right, literally now we've got like 5 more lines to write and we're done. So what is this saying right here? Taking it from the top there. So this is calculate the BMI status. This says if the BMI that we just calculated is less than 18.5, the status is underweight. If we get down to here, please look on the screen, everybody. If we get down to here, we know that the BMI that was calculated has to be 18.5 or above. Has to be. So if we get down to here, now we're checking, is it less than 25? If that's the case, it's between 18.5 and like 24.99999, whatever. All right, then you're optimal. If we get to here, then we know that it is 25 or above. So this is 25 to less than 30. And that's overweight. This is over 30. So that's obese. So the only thing that's left to do is to what I call display all. So I can now comment out this last, or uncomment out this last one. And I'll get the error down here because we haven't written it yet. But we will write it right now. Again, static void display all. Whoops. I can put a comment here, I guess. I probably should because I have all the other ones. Just says output all inputted values and the calculated BMI and BMI status values, because that's what we're doing. All right. And I just put them in as 4 different write lines. the BMI, you can do it whatever way you want, but I put it to 2 decimal places, and that is to just say F2 right there. So that's the two decimal places rather. Oops. Need another paren there. Don't need one there really. And I somehow must have removed a couple of my curly braces. That should be everything. Right now it's showing me no errors. All right. Now I'm going to save this and I am going to run it. I'll come back to it if you still need this, but I'm going to run it and put it there. Now, see what it says. 72, 111, and it says that it's underweight. Looks like this is kind of weird, wonky the way that prints, but that's okay. All right. So now notice if I hit a key and hit enter, it clears because I put that clear in there. So 72 and 177, that's optimal weight. 72 and 200. Oops, that's not good. 200, that's overweight. And 72 and 333, that's obese. All right, I don't like the way that output looks, so I'm just going to change that. I'm not going to have a \n there or there. You can do it if you want. Set it up the way you want it set it up. It's your program. So 72, 111, it now prints like that. That's good as far as I'm concerned. All right. That's it. So what we will do on Tuesday is we will rebuild this in a GUI format. I will suggest when you do that, you have this one up, because we'll be able to literally just copy a lot of the code over without making any changes whatsoever. All right. This whole routine that's right here, this thing, this calculating the BMI status, I literally just copied it over from one to the other one. The interface that we have for the GUI is going to be real simple, and I mean real simple. All right. Now, please, guys, see hands. How many people want me to print this out? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. You're okay? I'll take it. All right. And Aaron, you look like you were okay, so that's fine. Sometimes, not often, but sometimes, prints out funky when I print from Visual Studio, so I'm just going to throw it onto a text file and print it out from there. Unfortunately, the stapler in here is broken, so I'll give them to you, but they won't be stapled.